This is the Eurodragster podcast from Eurodragster.com, covering UK and European drag racing since 1997. Hosted by Graham and Chris. This bi-monthly show brings you the latest news, stories and updates from across the drag racing scene, with the occasional guest. This podcast is sponsored by Design by Binny. Now, let's get to it.
Welcome back to the Eurodragster.com podcast, episode 9 this time, getting very close to the double digits. That might be a bit of a milestone for us. Going to be a bit strange as well. We're going to start this evening. I say we, I'm going to start this evening. Chris is stuck in traffic. This guy has been having such fun this week. We're going to start with me. I am going to get in contact with Chris once he's back in his house and ready to bring his side of the podcast to you all. We have hopefully a couple of guests, maybe 3 this time over this evening. I say this evening, it is this evening. Little bit strange. This one's going to be a little bit odd in the fact that we are recording prior to an event and post-event. Hopefully we can bring you some bits and pieces after the event, because this will come out a few days after the Spring Speed Nationals, which is the next big event for Santa Pod. Very, very well attended this time over. Great to see. Just a few housekeeping details. Thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading episode 8. That was also a very strange one. That was just me coming post Festival of Power. We've decided to move our recording schedule around a little bit just because of the way that the days were falling. We record every 2 weeks, and it seemed to fall on the day after an event, which was a bit strange. We were a little bit rushed. But what we've decided to do now is we're going to do quite a few different recordings and then add them together and make you one big podcast. So it'll be recorded over 2 or 3 days. And plus it'll have post-event roundup as well, which will, as I say, will bring you post-match, it sounds like a football game, post-event, post-race from the Spring Speed Nationals at Santa Pod Raceway. Here we go again. So I'm going to bring you a bit up to speed on some of the bits and pieces that are floating around on the Eurodragster.com website at the moment. We have some galleries that have gone up from last week. So not only are we covering Santa Pod events, Tog is covering Melbourne and Manston Park. He's doing all of those. So we're eternally grateful for Tog for doing those. He also does a lot of uploading for us as well, to save me a very late evening of uploading galleries from the events provided by Julian and Diana. So the event Andy was covering last was the Spring Nationals, the Straight Liners Melbourne Spring Nationals. So if you go to the website now and you go to events, you will see the Spring Nationals, and on that page you'll see the galleries provided by Tog. Go and give them a good old look, see if you're there, if you were attending. Always well attended, great to see. And then we shift into quite a few Festival of Power reports from the competitors, from the riders and the drivers. The first one on my list is Phil Bambridge, was for the PBR Top Fuel bike. That's online if you want to go and give that a read. Very, very grateful for him to give us that report. Nice. I've read that one. Really, really good report from that. Unbelievable event for them. Another good report from the Festival of Power was provided from Jack Petley of the Maliboost. That was the Maliboost's debut, and he had a cracking meeting with that. Prior to the event, had a front cover on Custom Car Magazine. Fantastic car, beautiful to look. Wish I could have got a closer look at it, but obviously Race Report things kept me pretty much preoccupied. One of the things from the Festival of Power results was there were a few classes that weren't actually run to conclusion, e.g. the finals. They are due to be run at Spring Speed National, provided that all the competitors were in attendance. They intend to run those. The whole event was actually cut short by a track incident with one of the drivers. We are happy to hear that he's doing okay. He's resting at home, and as we always say to everyone, Godspeed, wishing him a speedy recovery. Happy that he walked away. We have a couple of extra things. The post-match award that doesn't get awarded actually at the event, always comes after it, is the Euro Dragster Photo Finish Award. That went to junior dragsters this time of Lola Bell-Kent and Ted Sullivan. They had a finish line margin of 0.0023 seconds or 3.09 inches. So a very close one there. Chris will be in contact with the people that need to be in contacted with, and hopefully they'll get their winnings. I actually have, and I need to pass them over, I have a sticker for them as well. So hopefully if they're attending, Junior Dragster is attending Spring Speed Nationals, so hopefully I'll pass those on to them. Let's go through our list. One of the things that did go up was the ICE Automotive Engine School for 2026. The first session of the inaugural joint ICE Automotive Engineering School initiative supported by the SPRC and held at Santa Pod Raceway. That was thanks to Nick Davies for handing that information over. That's a great read. I very admirable, brilliant. I'm going to hand over to Chris to do the birthdays, because Chris does the birthdays and he knows a lot better about them. So we will hold on that. One of the other things that we will report on is on my list is the next part of the 60th anniversary for Santa Pod Raceway's Pioneer Stories that come via Nick Pettit, published by us on the website. Very thankful to those gentlemen that write all these very long, very detailed, great reads. Please go give it a read. Show your support. This part is the first drag race at Santa Pod Raceway. These are provided by the British Drag Racing historians. Always, as I say, a great read. Love you to follow those. And here we are, we are recording, and we are back with our two guests. I said maybe two, maybe three, but definitely two. The class of choice for this episode is Sportsman ET. And funnily enough, I say two guests, but two guests and one host, and they're all in Sportsman ET. How did that happen?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. I say Chris B, I'm going to poke fun at him here and saying he's a Sportsman ET competitor.
I'm a casual Sportsman ET.
Yeah. He's a holiday, you know. Chris, I always poke fun at Chris with his website on wheels, as it was christened. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to start in the Cop corner and say Ben Jeffries in the Nissan 370. Hint, Mr. Luke. Although, funnily enough, I did see a compatriot of ours, Ben, has got a 400 in the main. Mr. Egan owns a Nissan 400Z.
But wow, yes, I have seen that. It is very nice.
It's very nice, and they didn't come to this country, so he's acquired that overseas. But we digress. Good evening to you, Ben, and good evening to you, pilot of Tony the Nugget, Mr. Alex Bryan.
Oh, good to be here.
Yeah, we decided that we wanted to represent every class humanly possible, and we're gonna get there eventually, aren't we, Chris? You know, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get pro mods sometimes. We're gonna get. I suppose what we could do with Gary Lake is we could nab him for Nostalgia Superstock, because that's what he's running this weekend.
I believe.
Is he double classing? I didn't actually dig too far into Sportsman ET. I definitely
asking something about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I did see him because he was asking about pitting, wasn't he, with Nostalgia Superstock?
He was, yeah.
One thing I will say to you, Mr. Lake, is please change gear. He'll know what I mean.
He's still a manual. He's always had automatic.
He's always had an automatic, yes. So he's got to retrain himself. But that's me. That's just me larking about. Who should we start with? I'll tell you what. We'll be alphabetical. We'll start with Alex.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening. We say evening. We always say good evening. But this podcast will get picked up at any time of any day. Sportsman ET driver, and I just mentioned prior to us starting to recording, I first saw Alex driving when it was the T-Caddy.
Yeah, my 2008 Volkswagen Caddy, believe it or not, is a camper van rather than just my work van.
Yeah.
Which I sort of ended up by accident in. I won the 2024 Dial-In Day and had 3 weeks to get a camper van and a race car built. So with a week left to go, I had to email poor Ian and go, I can't do both. Can I race the Caddy? He said yes, and I ended up in the Caddy the whole season before upgrading to the little Metro we affectionately call Tony the Nugget.
So what's what was the power plant in the Caddy? What was the engine?
It's the 1.9 turbo diesel. I think it's the PD that's in that.
PD, blimey. They say now the 1.9 turbo diesel, the PD engine everybody wants. I know quite a few people that grafted those engines into old SDI chassis.
And a lot are ending up in T25s as well.
Yeah, I did own a Caddy, and I unfortunately wrote it off. It was as a British gas outcast. You know, it was a lovely. Well, I can't remember what they called it. It was carrot something or blue. It was I know the code for it, but it was an ex-British gas van. I bought it because I wanted to do the same thing. I turned it into like a day van, and then I had all my stuff in there that I carted around, and I could sleep in it, and it was good. And I took it to Santa Pod until I wrote it off one day while going to work. Least said about that, the better, and that got carted off by Copart. Love that van a bit.
Yeah, I love mine, and it worked and didn't work as a race car because obviously I raced it during the day, but when you're going down the track, you're not allowed anything loose. So I had to tow a little box trailer with me, sleep in it, and then chuck everything out of the van into the trailer whilst I raced and reverse the process at night, which was a nightmare. When we were first out, I was having to get up at like 6 a.m. to empty the van to get it ready for the track.
I can just imagine that. It's just, quick, empty the van out. Yeah, we've been called, you know. But...
there was a couple of times when it was the case of, we've probably got about another hour. Oh, no, they've changed the schedule. Quick, everything out into someone else's gazebo. And hit the lane.
Oh, dear. Oh no! So if only Chris would have that problem. He doesn't have that problem now. He's a trailer queen now, aren't you?
Yeah, everything goes on a trail. I've had my fun of breaking down on the way home. So
I nearly broke down in the Caddy once when the clutch went on the way home from racing it. So I decided that I want to go faster. Let's get something a little bit better. Ended up in the Metro.
So how did the Metro come about? So was that something that you'd already had?
No, I actually bought it specifically to do drag racing with. I've owned 5 of them in total, including Tony.
Wow.
So I always had a bit of a soft spot for them. And then browsing Facebook Marketplace whilst I was rather bored in the coffee shop one day, I tripped over it on eBay. I thought, that would probably be quite fun because it's got a 1.8 Rover K Series VVC in it.
Yeah.
So I thought, there might be sort of 15s in that. Put in a bid and accidentally won it. Got it back and ran it. It was a complete disaster the first test day, but I thought this has got potential, and it's just been going faster ever since. And I absolutely love racing it. It's a lot easier to get everything sorted to race it than it was the little caddy.
It's quite a weapon of choice, isn't it? Really, I mean, you don't see many Metros technically still on the road, let alone drag race. So it's quite unique in its format.
It was built as I think it was originally built for the MG Metro Cup, but
so it was actually a race car in its.
It was built to be a race car, but they built it wrong because you're not allowed the 1.8, and you're also not allowed coilover front suspension in it either. So it turned out the first event and got kicked off track. Because it was faster than everything else. So the story goes. And then the guy didn't really have much of a
didn't have no use for it, sort of thing. Put some big Goodyear Eagles on the back. You talk a severe rake on the front. Now you're talking.
Yeah, but then I bought it, got it road legal again. I've been racing it in Sportsman ET, its second season, and also completed Street Weekend 3 with it as well.
Which is admirable. I mean, I knew Chris tried to. We tried to do. Didn't we try to do the second one, but we didn't quite get there.
I tried to enter it, but then we tried to cover the second, but we didn't get anywhere near to cover it. So.
Yeah, we did try.
We'd like to do all 4 days, 3 or 4 days, on Euro Dragster on tour.
Yeah,
basically we would call it, but it's getting time to do it. So.
Yeah, because you see, this does take a bit of time. There's a lot that we do in the background, but then we decided that wasn't enough, and it was my harebrained idea to do a podcast. So. That really scuppered our time, didn't and then hence the reason that Chris was indisposed last week. But they say this is it. We do these recordings every 2 weeks, but we're out of sync this week because I don't know how it worked, but every time we went to record it, we were pretty much the next day after an event or the evening on an event, and we were like, yeah, that's never going to happen. So we decided that perhaps it wasn't best for us, and certainly wasn't best for the. Oh look, he's on the. Oh, people can't see this. He's after some liquid refreshment already. Yeah, terrible.
I've had a stressful week. So. It's only Wednesday. It's only like halfway through the week, so.
It's only hump day. I'm afraid. You still got 2 more to go. I've still got 2 more to go, and then I've got to go drive to Pod. Yay!
We all do.
Yeah.
Finishing work on Friday and driving straight there.
You see, this is the thing. I can make it pretty quick, so I can get there in the morning and do everything I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we've made it even easier this year because half the gear that I use, I leave there. So, I just
if I was still going for Spring Speed Nationals, I'd be leaving here at 7 o'clock at night and rolling in at midnight.
Yeah. Which is quite usual for you, isn't it?
I normally try to get half a day off, but I have been arriving at 10, 11 o'clock at night sometimes.
Yeah, and that was a big decision for you with obviously the distance for Chris is quite humongous.
I don't think it's so bad for me and Ben, but it's still a long day after work.
Well, yeah. How far is it for you?
It's not too bad. It's only an hour and a half with the trailer on, assuming my van plays ball, which it didn't last time.
Oh.
So, I think we rolled in just after 8 o'clock last night for the Festival of Power.
Oh, it's about an hour. It was an hour and 40, but I've changed my route because I live out in the sticks and the roads are horrendous. and so I don't go that way anymore. Otherwise, I'll turn up at pod with no wheels left on my car because potholes, abound. So it's a bit longer for me now. It's about an hour and 50 for me. So because I live out in the middle of Norfolk, where we've only just got electricity. So, but yeah, we made the conscious decision that we would change all this, and we thought, right, it's going to work for us. And then everything this week has hit the fan. So it's try tomorrow. Then I realised, no, we can't do tomorrow. I'm out of my other thing. So I do speedway. I do methanol powered motorbike. I don't do the racing, but I'm a licensed official for it. So I have to be there. So that was like, forgot that one. That was season opener. Then Chris said, I'm going to pick up the caravan the next day. I can't do that one. So we changed to tonight, and here we are. And here we are, and we are all singing and all dancing. So the next question on my magic list is, why Tony the Nugget?
Well, it's actually named after there's a YouTube channel based in Australia called Garbage Time, and he has got a little Fiat 126, which over there is known as a Nicky, I think it is, and he called it Tony, and sometimes refers to it as the Nugget. When my brother saw when I first sent a photo going, look, this is what I'm racing next year, he went, oh, that's like a British Tony from that YouTube channel. And so Tony stuck. And then because he refers to it as the Nugget, occasionally it got referred to as that. So we combined the two. Also, it's quite fun to yell, stand back, I'm arming the Nugget, when you're trying to fire it up when you've broken it.
Quite unique. Not only is it a unique car, it's a unique name, and yeah, it's a weird way. When I refer back to my live reports because I don't mostly know people. People could stand in front of me and I wouldn't know who they were because I only ever see them in a helmet. And saying that, the back of their head as well. So it's not very easy to recognise people. I do recognise people by voice, but Colin, because I listen to Colin, I'm wired in on two ways. I'm wired into the timing system and I'm wired into the commentary so I can hear what they're talking about next door. And so I get a lot of information through that. So that's how I know who's about. And they say you changed cars. And if I switch back to the Caddy though, I looked at that Caddy and I thought, that's a diesel Caddy. That's going to be fairly sluggish. But your time was bang on near every single run. Your dial-in was just like, that thing's just on rails. It just, tell you what to do and it'll go and do it.
Yeah. It took a few events to consistently dial it into what it wanted to do. Because the very first time I ever took the Caddy down a drag strip was Q1 of Easter Nationals in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was such a last-minute decision to race it. I literally had no time to test it. So I asked a few people that I knew had taken them down, what might it do? As it turns out, it won't go 17s when you put a camper build in the back. It will consistently go roughly in the 20s, assuming the traction control doesn't try and stall it. I don't miss a gear, and everything all goes to plan. But yeah, I got reasonably good at dialing it in the end.
Yeah, it's timings. I see. I mean, I'm not a racer. I am. I don't race whatsoever. The only thing I probably race off is from a traffic light. But I'm not a racer. So if I was to go down the track and they say, "Well, yeah, what's your dial-in?" I would have absolutely no idea. No idea. I'll probably say a fortnight, knowing me.
Yeah, it takes a few runs to sort of get it dialed in, and I'm sure Ben will tell you at the Festival of Power, we're all sat around saying that each of us can dial our cars to within 0.1 of a second. I think the entire if you're 0.1 off your dial-in after qualifying at Festival of Power, you'd be in 22nd place. But if we all swap cars, none of us would have any idea what to dial. We'd all be way off the pace. But our own cars, you sort of get a bit of a butt dyno for it after a while.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, Chris is. with his Alpha, I'm sure he knows exactly what he's going to get out of it. And they say there is the human element in everything when you race. There is, miss a gear, don't pull away on the light, red light, do this, do that. There is a certain amount of fallibility in racing. I refer back to an American, a Top Fueler that says his excuse for when everything goes wrong he just says race car. So
yeah. I had that at the Festival of Power. I'm fairly certain I'm cursed because the Festival of Power always seems to go wrong for me. This time, the car broke in Q1. I missed a gear in Q2, and then by the time Q3 rolled around, I managed to dial it and went 0.06 of a second off my dialing. But I say it's mostly about seat time and sort of learning your car.
It is. I get that. I get that every single time. I mean, say, I look at. I'd asked Chris. Now, when did I ask Chris? Quite a while ago. And I said, "So, how does Gary Lake do it?" And he said, "Well, in the Pontiac is it's automatic, and he just puts his foot down, and it does the same every single time. Within a millisecond of each run."
Yeah.
But now he's in a manual car. Now he's having to relearn, and I'm sure he'll get there as well. And I know he will because he's quite committed to what he wants to do. But I think on race day, everyone stands a fair chance.
Yeah, I'll say it is harder in a manual, but having said that, number one qualifier, Georgina Smith from Festival of Power, I think she was 0.003 or something off her dial-in, and she was just in a completely bone stock manual transmission Audi A3.
Yeah.
So that's the great thing about our class is you can literally run anything as long as it runs slower than 12 flat.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, isn't it is it 12 flat or is it like 11.99 or something stupid like that? That is your.
If you go 12.00, you're fine. If you go 11.99, you get pulled in for a naughty chat with the scrutineers if you haven't got the right safety equipment.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you get 3 chances, and if you're on your third runner running under 12, you get pulled in. Yeah.
You see. No, I'm learning things, and I learn things every single time. Really and truthfully, one of these days, I'm going to have to get a copy of the rule book and dig through it, and because there are people in the tower that have been there a lot longer than me, and they tell me all these things, and it goes in one ear and out the other.
Track,
Sorry?
Need to get your Vauxhall down the track.
Oh, that's weird. That's only a 1.4 turboed petrol 4-wheel drive Vauxhall.
It's probably quicker than my Alpha at the moment.
Well, yeah, your Alpha's not going anywhere. At least mine can hold oil.
Yeah.
That's a good thing with sports. That's a good thing with Sportsman ET is occasionally you have a chat with people going, your cars are really cool, but I haven't got really anything I can race. I was like, well, you say that, but Terry Attree been racing a 1.6 Mark 1 Focus for the last couple of years. So when I raced the Caddy, so yeah, you can literally run anything.
Yeah, I mean,
4 wheels and make safety requirements.
Not for the sake of bad luck. Look at Brian Huxley. He finally gets his Comet back and he races it, and then the gear, the diff went or something. I think the rear end went on it or something broke, and borrowed somebody else's car.
Yeah, and got to round 3 with it, I think, at Festival of Power.
Yeah. I mean, he's driven Mark's car, he's driven the Comet, he's driven his wife's green Focus Estate. I don't know what the silver one was. I can't remember what that was, the one that he borrowed for Festival of Power. I know it was a big silver SUV, but...
Was it a Cougar or a...
yes, it was. It was a Cougar. It was a Ford Cougar. Thank you for reminding me. So he's been out in quite a few vehicles. Darren Huxley is driving funnily enough, the old drift car. That is one of Mark's old drift cars. So that's been converted.
The 180.
That's a 180 SX, yeah.
Yeah, because he beat me in my first year when I was racing the Caddy in it, and that was a hilarious looking race. Seeing this 180 chasing down a Caddy.
Yeah. As Ben will probably, he's a bit of a drifter at heart as well. He'll probably back me up on this. To see a 180 SX is quite unique these days because they hold their money, very stupidly hold their money.
Indeed, so Graham, I'm pleased to see on socials that Darren's managed to fix it and improve the gearbox. So
yep.
He's not going to manage to make it to Sportsman Nationals, unfortunately, but hopefully for round 3 and onwards, he'll be there because it's one of my favourite cars.
Well, here's a funny thing, and I'm going to fly off at a tangent here. Because I come from a drifting background, I've known Mark for, blimey, he'll probably correct me on this, but I would say close to 15 years, just because of the drifting. I first met him when he was in a Corolla, funnily enough, a brown Corolla that was branded as Dark Horse Racing. I've got pictures of him from when I first met him. We ran a competition locally that he attended. We did a big charity event. He won it, I think, at that time. Then his next Genesis was a 340 Volvo Estate with a BMW V8 in it. And funnily enough, that car still exists. It ended up in Hungary, if I remember rightly. He sold it to someone, and then they sold it on to somebody in Hungary. Now, that was a monumental drift car. That was fantastic to see with a BMW V8 in it. That thing absolutely hauled. And then, funnily...
And what do they say about race cars?
Yeah.
They don't die, they just get faster.
They just get... Yeah, that thing was... I've got a very, very nice picture of it with a wheel ripped off, which we won't mention. And then he ended up... You will have seen it. You will have seen the Celica. It was the grey Celica that ran on 14s, 14-inch rims, and that as a drift car was unheard of. But that's how Mark made his mark on the competition at that time. You know, he pushed the boundaries of what could be used. I know that, funnily enough, that car ended up being passed around as well when Mark came to the end of life and ownership with Mark. So, but obviously, when I continued with the drifting scene, and when Mark moved back into drag racing because of his family commitments, you see, I followed him. I met up with him there and thought, oh my God, it's Mark Huckley. I haven't seen him for years. And, you know, it's nice to recognise people that you've seen from your past. And as time goes on, especially with this Eurodragster thing, it's opened me up to a whole new category of people. And every year I connect with more and more people. And the podcast really makes a bit of a difference as well, because even though this is an audio podcast, I get to see people. So I know what they look like now.
Yeah, rather than just seeing the back end of our cars from the tower.
Well, yeah. Well, see, yeah. I will recognise a drive. I drive my wife insane. I sometimes go back to some of the live streams, and I looked at a bit of the live stream from Festival of Power, and I was like, that's such and such, that's such and such, that person, that's her, that's him. And my wife, she's like, will you shut up? Because how I remember people is from their cars, and funnily enough, the back end, which is, you know, as they're leaving. But yeah, I say the Metro is iconic and getting better and better and better each year, under your tutelage.
Yeah, we've made a number of improvements this year, so we're hoping for a 14.5. We nearly got it at Festival of Power, which is miles better than, I think there was a 17.8 was my first ever pass in it, when it had so many problems, and we've just been gradually chipping away at it and upgrading it. It's got a new ECU in it this year.
Is it still a 4-speed?
A bit more weight overboard. No, it's 5-speed.
Oh, did they come with 5s? Did Metros come with 5 speeds?
I think the really late ones did.
Oh wow, mine didn't.
Like the Rover 100s and the Rover Metros. Yeah, because I think it is I think it's a Rover Metro DTI gearbox I've got in it.
Oh,
into the MG-09 engine.
Whoa,
so
top of the range.
Use all 5 on the drag strip.
Mine definitely wasn't that. Mine was like, you know, the runt of the litter, I think it was. But I loved it, and it served a purpose when I was a youth. And yeah, I actually liked it. It was just the colour was horrid. Sort of like a very faded olive green. It was vile.
It's quite funny when because we were pitted not far from Fire Force and the Force of Nature Festival of Power. We had quite a few people coming past, and you're hearing so many great stories. So I had one. That was my first car. My nan had one. I crashed one. I had about 7 of them because they were like 50p. And every time the tanks ran out, I just went and bought another one. That had
one of the things. One of the things.
All sorts of stories.
Yeah, one of the things, because obviously I have a bit of a background in oval racing as well, and the Bangers. I don't do any of the racing. I've had a big connection with them because of people I've known in the past, and Rovers and the later iteration of the Metros were Rovers, weren't they? They started out as they were Austins to start with, but then
Austins and MGs to start with, and
then they became Austins. And it's the one car that the Banger drivers won't have. They won't drive Austin. They won't drive Austins because they won't drive Rovers because they won't drive Rovers because they're a bit weak, especially for that event.
With the ETs that we do, I don't need a roll cage, but having had one of my Metros run at the back of, I'm not taking the safety devices cages in and out. When we go 11.99, we'll get an 850 cage straight put in it. And
perhaps you might correct me, but I remember the car of the time being a 216 Tomcat. That was a Rover.
Yeah,
I think it was a 216.
My granddad had a 220 GTI Tomcat.
Yeah, so they were the cars to have, but they never stood the test of time, unfortunately.
Yeah, my family still got ours.
Have you really? Good grief! No, it's amazing. People, some Oh, now you see the thing. I like things like that. I think that's great. You know, I like looking at all these car collectors.
I learned to drive in it, and it's still in our family.
Yeah. Oh wow! Look at that. And with that being said, let's move on to Ben. Ben's hiding, you see, because I can see Alex's face, I can see Chris's face, I can see my own face, but Ben's hiding.
I feel sorry for you looking at my face.
Well,
it's a joy to be here and to see you all. My next feature on the podcast, I'll be sure to obtain a webcam. But
introduce yourself, Ben.
Yeah, so hello, Graham. Thanks for having me on. I'm Ben, and I'm effectively a new novice to drag racing. After a year of spectating, while my other half, Lorna, in her bright red MX-5, of some as you may recognise, nicknamed Luna Love, after a year of spectating and cheering her on up, she and the Sportsman group gave me the bug, and this year I turned driver. I've just come off the back of my first race weekend, which was Festival of Power, which had one of the steepest learning curves, and I knew it would be competitive, but I was shocked at how competitive this championship can be. So thanks for having me on. I'm new.
But you see, here's the thing of Sportsman TT, and this is what gets me as Sportsman TT. If you're a newbie looking in and you think it's a stepping stone to get somewhere else, but I've seen a lot of people come into Sportsman ET and just not bother to go anywhere else because they like it so much.
That's indeed the case, and one of the most interesting things I found, sort of getting to know the people in Sportsman ET, which is almost impossible because it's full of rock stars, is the amount of people that race in other classes but still choose to race in Sportsman ET. You know, the Huxleys, Pete Walters, Alan Medley, Alex. There's probably some others in there that I'm drawing a blank with, but the people that multi-class effectively.
Yeah, and they keep coming back for more, don't they? Which is amazing. Yeah, and
I can see why. It's an incredible class.
It's so friendly. Help everyone out.
Yeah, it's the family element of everything. When we say about the family, we talk about it globally as Sandapod being a family, but we also talk about the classes. So they're like sub-families within that big landmass sort of thing. But I see people in Sportsman just having a whale of a time. Apart from Chris, I don't know. I want to poke fun at him again.
Yeah, well, when I turn up, I just have issues. So
I love the fact that he says issues. You know, he's just like, bleep, expletive, blah blah blah. Yeah. I'm loading up.
But it's still all good fun. That's the good thing about Sportsman ET is it's so much fun,
but
it's so relaxed.
It's bracket racing as well, isn't it? And it's a different aspect, isn't it? When you look at drag racing from an outside looking in, you always think that it's all about heads up. It's all about first across the line, which is not the case with bracket racing.
Not at all. And actually, that's probably one of the things that sold it to me massively. Once I understood bracket racing, it blew my mind. And I think now it's one of the most entertaining motorsports you can watch, especially in Sportsman ET, where you have such a variety and diverse range of cars with different power levels. Like Alex was describing, the Caddy versus a 1.8 ESX machine. The chase is on, and I think that just makes the whole concept of bracket racing amazing. And don't get me wrong, it takes a minute or two to wrap your head around it, but once you get your head around it like you would a golf handicap, it all sort of clicks and lands in place, which for me is absolutely fantastic as a sport.
Yeah, so your weapon of choice is a Nissan.
Correct, yep. I have a 370Z. Or Z, should I say? I've been corrected multiple times. I've been watching too many American YouTubers, but I've been corrected that we say Z here and not Z.
We say Z, and we say Z, and they say Z. Do they? You're going to confirm this, because I say with the drifting background, everybody buys 350s, and 350s are VQs, aren't they? VQ34, and they're Renault engines.
Yes.
Which is great fun in a Nissan, a French engine in a Japanese car. What's the power plant in a 370?
So the 370Z is, I don't know if it's related in any way to the later 350Z engines, which had the higher revving engine, but it's a 3.7 litre V6.
Yeah. Effectively. So not your average, I would say not your average road car, but it that was a road engine, so that was an optional package in the 370.
Yeah, I mean, the 370Z
was an
engine,
OEM.
I think it's found in some other vehicles as well that are a bit hidden, the engine. But yeah, it's found in some other cars, but of course the 370Z is what sold it. But the V6 was one of the selling points for me.
Yep.
As many people that buy the Z platforms.
You see, it's not quite a V8, but it's close enough. It's more than an inline 4, or straight 6, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, if you want to see some V8 Zs, just take a look at the American drift scene. Wherever they can put a V8 in, they will. And most
Chris
of the
Ford,
350 Zs competing out there do run a V8. I know there's a competitor in Drift Pro UK that runs a V8 in a 350 as well. But
you're talking about Ian,
right? Okay.
Yeah, I've known Biz for a good 15 years as well. So Biz is a very good friend. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but Ian Phillips is. Yeah, he stayed true to his 350. It was a pig when he first started driving it, but has stayed true to it and has persevered and has done very, very well. But we digress. So I first saw you in let's say a competitive position at the Dial-In Day. So
correct, yes.
Yeah, so
that was my first hurrah into drag racing, shall we say.
And you say steep learning curve?
Definitely, but an incredible environment to do so. So it didn't feel steep, but after a day and doing 19 runs almost back to back, as Alex will attest to, I was done for a few days. But I couldn't recommend Dial-In Day enough to anybody, even if you're not looking to compete in drag racing. Just as a day as its own package is absolutely fantastic. I think most of the people running there weren't looking to compete, and actually, the two people that come first and second at Dial-In Day, neither of them are competing currently in drag racing. They were just there for the crack and turned out to be pretty good at it.
I remember one of the competitors was Thomas Cook Abbott's mum.
Indeed, so if you've watched the video on YouTube, it's quite entertaining.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm in that video, and I was like, "Oh, will you stop pointing the camera at me?" But I made the mistake of being on the start line at the time that she was there, so I've ended up in 2 of his YouTube videos now, and I hate it every time. I mean, I'm learning just to like my recorded voice, but I don't think Chris listens to the podcasts back either.
I do listen to it, but I skip my part because I don't like my voice.
No,
With
I
me
hate my
being
voice.
The Northeast, I sound a lot different to everyone else.
Which is really funny. My podcast of choice isn't this one, and I don't know, that sounds awful to say that. My podcast of choice is a drifting podcast done by one of my friends. And the reason I do listen to it was he was the sort of like the genesis of me doing it. So I thought, well, if he can do it, then I can do it. But let's just say Az is a lot cleaner. His language is a lot more X-rated than mine. But when it comes to drift cars, you know, there is a certain brand of people, shall we say? But
that is true. But I would draw some parallels, I think, from my experience so far between the drift community and the drag community. If you compare time in the pits, I've not spent maybe as much time as yourself in the drift pits, but my first experience of competitive motorsport, so to speak, we're attending the likes of Silverstone, Brands Hatch, whether it's F1, British Touring Cars, and other things like that. And the pits and the drivers and what's going on is almost, I wouldn't say off limits, but it's nowhere near. You don't get nowhere near as close to the cars or the racing. You're almost invited in when it comes to Santa Pod and the drifting. Doesn't matter what level of driver and what class you're in, but the fans are what make it, and you get sort of drawn into that, and you have almost full access, which I 100% think makes it really unique.
And that's the one thing that I've always loved. The one thing I think that Chris was, I mean, when we talk about the upper echelons of drag racing, and we look at pro mods. I mean, your daughter sat in Andre Arnover's car, so you would have never thought that those sort of things happen, would you? You mean
and on John Tebenham's
what in
as well.
Oh yeah, what in the pro mod?
Is it Lightning McQueen?
Yeah, Fabulous Lightning McQueen. Yes.
Yeah, she sat in that as well, and she sat in the Sportsman ET cars as well.
Yeah, but.
That's one great thing about being able to just have the fans in the pits wander around, and then you sort of see people sort of eyeing, looking at your cars from afar, sort of a bit curious, and then you just sort of say hello, and then it's surprising how the sport and your car is a catalyst to be able to have great conversations and make great friends with people you never perhaps would have spoken to before.
No, that is very true. I've met people at meetings, unfortunately, that don't actually come anymore because they don't race anymore, which is a great shame. But they are great people to talk to. I mean, if I hadn't started doing this with Chris those years ago, I would have never met Graham Sykes, and Graham Sykes is an absolute. He's an absolute legend, yeah. He's and there was no way in hell that I was ever going to meet that gentleman. I mean, we've had we've had great conversations. Chris has been in his garden shed of all places, but it's open doors, and that's it. But it's not just open doors; it's doors that were open already. You have to put yourself out a little bit, and you go and ask questions. Who did I spoke to someone, and they said, "Oh, it was my brother." He'll shoot me for saying that. My brother came down as an invite. We had some tickets, and I said, "Would you like them to bring your son down?" He's like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, I've been in the pits. I've been talking to everyone." And I was like, well, hey, but you wouldn't get that. Lewis Hamilton wouldn't do that. You wouldn't be able to get near the car, let alone talk to the driver.
Right.
If I'm honest, it's a similar situation to how I know Ben. I started racing. Our mutual friend Jordan came to an event, saw the Sportsman ET and me racing the Caddy, came round to chat to me in the pits. Then he started racing. Ben and Lorna came to watch him race, and we all got chatting. And as I said, the rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is I have no money.
Yeah. I must say that Alex is being rather modest here because after spending enough time with Tony the Nugget and Alex in the pits, I think the Metro could be in contention for one of the most popular cars at Santa Pod. If you spend any time in the pits and see how many people, whether Alex is there or not, that come to look at the Metro, take a picture, leave with a big smile on their face. And if Alex is there, he'll be cornered for hours, won't you, Alex, by people that take an interest in the car and get quite nostalgic about it in many ways.
It's a connection,
you
isn't it?
disagree?
Yeah, it's a big connection.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I don't know if we were recording at the time, but you hear so many stories because back in the day, everybody basically had one, or had a connection to one. Either they learned to drive in one, their nan had one, their mum had one, they crashed 4 of them, whatever it might be. But yeah, and you just don't expect to see something like the Metro doing drag racing.
No,
like you say, like I've been talking with the 350Z, you sort of more expect to see Nissan 350s and 370s doing drifting, not drag racing. But you can race anything in Sportsman ET, really. So.
Yeah. We talk about racing anything, and the one that pops into my head, and you said earlier was Alan Medley, is Gillian Medley. That thing's an absolute brew, isn't it? The Cherokee, is it a Cherokee?
Yeah, the Jeep.
Yeah, it's an absolute brew.
It runs 12.
Yeah. I don't think you even
As
think
my other half,
Go.
as my other half, Lorna will describe, who in the first or second round of qualifying at Festival of Powell of Test 2, it's quite scary seeing Jill in night racing come flying up from behind you while she's ahead in her MX-5 and having that 12-second, it's a V8, isn't it, that? Which roars past. She attests to how intimidating that was, given how kind and polite Jill is as well.
Yeah. I think that's how the Sportsman ET class is portrayed. Really, it's all comers in all vehicles, and you don't have to have a sub. You can't have a sub 10-second car. It's not like Fast and the Furious. And you owe me a 10-second car, but you can't have a 10-second car. You can have a 12-second car, but you don't see people in Mark IV Supras. You did. Didn't you? And there is one being built. I understand.
Georgie Smith used to race one, a blue one.
Yeah, that
was.
Was that Nigel Hales? Chris, if you remember rightly, that was one of the Hale families owned the Supra.
It was, yeah. It was owned by one of the Hales who Georgina raced for many years. But I believe they took that back to restore it back to a road car.
Oh, they've taken... Yes, that was it. They were going to race it, but now they're putting it back on the road, so...
Yeah, they're putting it back or they're doing something with it, but I know it's getting restored at the moment. Or will be restored in the near future.
You see, now, when I started my drifting life, there was a Mark IV Supra being drifted, and that was the first 1,000 horsepower car on the track. And it was like, oh wow, this is, and I'll tell you a little secret about this thing now. The Supra does exist still. It's somewhere in this country. I don't know where it is. And it was, I say, the first 1,000 horsepower car to go on the professional drift circuit in this country. But it ran 700 because it wouldn't drive with 1,000 because it made it impossible to drive. So he had 2 settings on his ECU and he flicked a switch and it turned it down to 700. So it was all a bit of a fad, but
there you go, Ben. That's what you need with a 370.
Precisely. There's plenty of things I can plan to do with the 370.
I believe there's the Americans we talk about Formula Drift. Don't they run NASCAR engines in them?
Yes. I mean, NASCAR engines have started permeating their way into Drift Masters in the European scene as well. There's a RX-7 running a NASCAR engine now, which sounds absolutely incredible.
Yeah. But they say, but when we come from over from the drift scene into the drag racing scene, it's still a vast divide, because I have only seen probably a couple of power plants from the drift scene make it into the drag scene, and I've seen obviously I've seen a 2J. I've seen someone running a 2J, and I've seen Ben Kennedy running a 1UZ. And they're probably the only 2 engines that make it into drift scene that have actually transferred over. So my friend's just literally bought an Aristo with a 2J in it. So he's having the time of his life at the moment. So
We do have Jago Stokes in his Skyline.
Yes.
That runs, well.
That's an RB26, isn't it?
Yes, an RB26. I know they're not the most popular choice for drifting, but a very special car in the Sportsman Championship that decided to try and creep out of the class this weekend.
That has a tow bar.
Indeed, it does.
and that was last year. He decided that he would trailer it, didn't he? And rather than actually use it to tow a caravan, if I remember rightly.
Yep. They're.
I think one meeting nearly came away, so they took it away and decided to trailer it from then on and build themselves a motorhome to tow it with.
That's a 33, though, isn't it?
Correct. Yes.
Yep. What was lovingly called in the drift circuit the barge, because they're huge. They have such a big wheelbase. They were wallowy on the track, but still a weapon of choice. Everybody loved them, but we digress. I like reminiscing, but let's look ahead to next week. I say next weekend. I'm looking ahead, but obviously when this comes out, it will be after the weekend. So, are you both at Spring Speed?
We most certainly are.
Oh,
with it.
Dial-in's ready. No headwind this time. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Hopefully not.
Wasn't it funny that Friday and Saturday was a constant headwind? And I say it in the last podcast, I did feel a little bit seasick from that tower because it never stopped moving. To see eliminations on the Sunday when the wind dropped a bit and everybody's dial-ins went out the window.
Very much so, as I found out in my first elimination, which didn't quite go in my favour.
No, but as I say, these are all steps to a win, shall we say?
Well, I did get a PB out of it, a personal best, so there's something to smile about.
Everything's a personal best when you're starting out. Everything's a milestone. I know, and I'm going to make another backhanded comment, but Andy Thetford in the Black Pearl Camaro getting over the finish line was a huge smile for me, and I know it was for him as well.
I've been trying to do that for quite a long time.
Yeah. And we have fun with him we have fun at the Hall of Fame and at the SPRC meetings.
Just don't ask AI to who Andy Thetford is because they don't know.
No, they don't know who he is. It said it was awkward and they didn't know who it was, and it did make him laugh.
Yeah.
He had great fun with that. But I know that a lot of people have personal battles with their cars and they set themselves agendas and targets and things like that. But I think sometimes in Sportsman ET especially, that it's all about the competition, shall we say? A win is a bonus. I say that every single time, but to get through a meeting and not having any mechanical failures, and things like that is just a feather in what I would hope is everybody's cap, because I like to see people compete and I like to see people win, but I don't like to see losers because I always say runner-ups. So.
Yeah, well, that's one thing. That's another nice thing with Sportsman ET is a number of us have had it in the past where you, even if you have a race car, if you break it, you can go and have a nice word with the Santapod team if you're still in qualifying and go, I've broken my race car, can I race my daily? And they'll typically go, yep, still write your race number on it, pull it round to the lanes in the next one, and off you go.
Yeah, Brian did that, didn't he?
A pro mod, if you break, you're dead.
Yeah, it's yeah. I've got a spare top fuel car. Can I use that one? But
we have seen race cars get lent as well.
Yes.
So that's also a done thing. Almost on some occasions, people can't help themselves but to offer their car because I think that's just kind of community it is, really.
Well, and that's so admirable, isn't it? I mean, to let somebody borrow your car just so they can continue to compete, I think is a brilliant way of thinking.
That's the thing. When you sat on the start line with the car on the other lane, waiting for the lights to go green, the only thing you want to do is win and get through to the next round. But no one wants to win because your competitor is sat in the pits with a busted car.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to win it on track.
Absolutely. Nobody wants to win on a red light. they'll take the victory, but they never really want to do it, especially in the final. I know for a fact that when I see the finals occurring, and they are a bit, quick, next one, and they do get through the finals quite quickly. But nobody wants to win on a breakout. Nobody, especially in a bracket racing, nobody wants to win on a red because they want to know that it's a fair and square win sort of thing. Which is,
I will say, I made it through to round 2 at the Festival of Power and actually came up against Lorna with the MX-5, and I did go red. But even if I hadn't have gone red, I think it probably would have still on her way. She was on it all weekend. She was hot on the tree, and she was literally bang on her dial in that race. It would have been very hard to get around her.
and I say, so the next thing for you, Ben, is obviously partners teaming up in eliminations. How's that going to be?
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It was hard enough seeing Alex with his Metro go up against my Lorna in her MX-5. I love them both dearly, but there's a correct answer here, and I'll stick to that. But it was an incredible race. It really, really was.
Yeah. Discretion is the better.
Fun, but you can,
discretion is the better part of valor on that one.
Yes. But it was an incredible race, and Alex has a great humility about him, which is
yeah. And I think that's how it is every single time, and it doesn't matter who races who. It's just the taking part that I believe, and I know it sounds a bit cliche to say that, but it's just the taking part that really does make it. But you want to do better. You want to do best and you say you'll take everything that you learned from the Dialing Day into Festival Power, and everything that you've learned at Festival Power, and take it to Spring Speed, because you'll say, right, I'll remember to do that now. So. And
it's probably a good thing that friends get a chance to compete against each other in this environment. I think it's great for the social. I mean, you had White Line Racing on before.
Yep.
Who are growing, I think you'd call them a team group, and they're competing against each other within the same team as well. And it just seems to bring everyone closer together, and hopefully over time make everyone more competitive.
Absolutely. And I see the team. Not so much the team of White Label Motorsport. I see the class growing all the time. I see people like yourselves sitting on the bank thinking, do you know what? I can do that, and I'm going to give that a go. And I think that's really good for that class.
Yeah, because I said earlier, you can't just hop in your daily and come drag racing. Obviously, you need all the safety gear and your license, but in terms of actually, you don't have to go out and spend hundreds of thousands of pounds on a 8-second car to compete. You can literally just do what I did, in your 20-second Volkswagen Caddy and go for it, or buy your dream car and go for it as well.
Yeah, I'll say brilliant, admirable. With that being said, time is pressing on. Yeah. It's past Chris's bedtime already.
Yeah, cheers. I'm due another beer. So.
You finished you haven't finished your first one yet, or is that your second one? I don't know.
Yeah, first one.
He's going to say first because it's going out. I haven't had any.
I've got Easter egg.
You got an Easter egg? That's a bit.
Yeah.
That's a bit old.
Not the only one.
Everybody's on the chocolate and the beer, and I'm trying to lose weight, so please don't.
That was lying. That needs to happen.
Well, I say time is pressing on. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining on this this episode. It's great that Sportsman ET are so well represented, and there are so many good racers that just want to be part of this. I think what we need to do now is we need to harangue Gary and Kirsty, especially Kirsty. I think if I get Tom on, he won't be quiet, but it'll be great for us to keep going. I know we've got some more people waiting in the wings. I've got some front-wheel drive cars coming to play on the podcast. I've got something lined up for 760 Heads Up. They're all going to come and join us for an episode, and that's not just one or two people. That's hopefully going to be the whole class, which will be hilarious. And yeah, we're gonna attack all the classes that we possibly can. So thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us. Have a good evening. Have a good event. I will catch you sometime over the weekend if
I'll be watching at the weekend.
You'll be watching at the
From home.
weekend. Well, I'll be watching at the
Crying.
weekend, but I'll be watching out the
Crying.
window, crying.
Crying. You never know. You might see me for one day. You never know.
Well,
Santa Fe and come race.
yeah.
Well,
Bring the Santa
might go
Fe.
quicker than the Alpha.
Bring the Santa Fe. Yeah.
A 2.2 diesel automatic. It might do all right.
Well, it'll be like Gary. Hey, set your dial in. Dial in every time.
Mm.
Yeah.
That won't happen.
I don't think his wife will forgive him
No.
or his bank account.
Just as long as it doesn't do what Jordan's BYD did, it'll run one of two times, but it seems random as to which one it decides it wants to do.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes. He took a BYD
he
out,
does,
didn't he? Yes, I forgot all about that.
Is that a hybrid or is it electric?
Plug-in hybrid.
Yeah. So it's half electric. Boost off electric off the line, then goes into petrol and halfway down the track.
Yeah.
However, it is a race car that also has a built-in karaoke.
Wow.
Wow. No, that's something
Yes,
that the
so
scrutineers don't check for, do they?
Yeah, the BYD, you can, if you're ever delayed in racing, you can pull the microphone out the center console,
What?
bring up the lyrics on screen, and these new cars on the market come with karaoke.
So
If you're
it
not
comes
sure.
with a microphone.
Yes.
There's an optional extra, but yes, you can get a microphone from BYD to plug into your car.
I'm actually stunned.
Wow.
I'm actually stunned.
Wow. Next,
there-
he'll have
there
a
is
microwave.
There is video evidence of a certain Ben demonstrating how good the karaoke machine is in that car on our social medias.
Yeah, please share.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll dig that one out and post that on the website. It's nearly been an hour that we've been chuntering on, and I'll say once again, thank you very much. Thank you very much for representing Sportsman ET,
No
Chris.
problem at all.
Nice to see you back. Thank you for joining me
Yeah, that's fine.
with your horrible week, and I hope it improves.
Yeah.
Have a good event. Have a safe event. See you on the other side.
Thank you very much for having us. We'll certainly try.
Yep. Good luck at the weekend, guys. I'll be watching from the little screen up here. So
Thank you very much for having us. It was a privilege, and a big shout out to everyone in Sportsman ET. You're all legends, and
yeah,
can't
definitely.
wait to race with you more this season.
Ah, cracking. Now you see, now they're all going to be your best mate.
Pleasure to have you in the group, both of you. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
I
problem.
feel underwhelmed that I'm not in Sportsman ET. I might have to be an honorary Sportsman ET.
Wow.
Just
Well, let's declare it now. From now on, you are an honorary racer in Sportsman ET. Should you ever, kind of how people get honorary degrees, you've got an honorary place in Sportsman ET. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that at this point, but let's
I'll take it.
let's go for it.
I'll take it.
We'd be more than happy to have you in the
Yeah.
ranks.
So he would actually stay in the caravans down Sportsman ET Lane, but you can't get in the caravan because you're too tall.
Oh, well, they can't see that. I'm sitting down, so you can't see that. Yes, I am 6'7". Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay.
And the reason I drive the Vauxhall is because it's got lots of headroom.
And a sunroof.
And no, it hasn't got a sunroof. It's just got lots of legroom.
I've got my own back on you now. So.
Yeah, well. Okay.
Well, I'll have a sunroof if you hit a bump too hard.
Have fun. See you on the other side.
Right,
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys, for
Thank you
coming
very
on.
Well, then, some time has passed since the interview with Alex Pryor and Ben Driscoll. We were pretty much full on into Spring Speed Naturals by the time we were ready to edit and put everything together. But Spring Speed Nationals came upon me rather fast. I moved out. I went into race mode, as most people did. And, Saturday and Sunday, great couple of days. Oh, awesome weather. A little bit chilly, but much better weather-wise and certainly wind-wise. Oh, wow. Wind. There was none, there was. There was a little bit, but much, much better than the Festival of Power. Pretty much some really good racing, some really good PBs for people, some really good, surprising qualifying. One thing that did stick that stuck out for me was the fact that the tables, as I was reporting, were constantly changing. Absolutely. First, takes first, then another one comes, immediately takes first again, then somebody else takes first. It always seems to be Q3 on the first day when everybody seems to be getting that little edge on their dial-ins, on their indexes, working out where they need to be, what they need to be doing, where they need to be lifting, where they need to be accelerating. Much better and improved in their qualifying times. We saw quite a few people double classing. One sticks out in my head was Bill Wilson in the graffiti truck. Such an awesome truck to look at, and an awesome truck since the engine rebuild. And once again, looking to improve on that by adding nitrous. Came upon a slight hitch with that, the fact that the nitrous was perfect, the engine was perfect, but the torque converter couldn't really quite handle it, as I understand. Whether I'm right or wrong, I don't really know, but this is all a learning curve for people that have changed their setups over the winter. Certainly progressed well into the eliminations, so as it was with everybody. Some new cars, some new bits and pieces, some things that people have changed over the winter. Certainly some different cars. Certainly some people in different classes, which was always great to see. Let's talk about the obvious glaring thing. Unfortunately, we seem to have had another incident at the top end, which was never nice to see. What was good that the gentleman in question, the car had a slight hitch, shall we say, at the top end. The car was double classed with two different drivers. And unfortunately, after that incident, the car's journey into the eliminations had to be halted. What was good was the same with the Festival of Power incident. The gentleman in question with this car managed to get out under his own steam and pretty much walk away, which was always fantastic, always great to see. The car, on the other hand, slightly damaged in as only as cosmetic damage, which was another saving grace. But this is tantamount to all these cars that these professionals build with their safety devices, that people can just walk away. As we say, the cars can be mended and made to look brand new. People, on the other hand, can, it's a story that's played out many times over history, and you wish that they weren't repeated. But accidents do happen, and it's unfortunate that they do. But what's good about Santa Pod and the drivers themselves is that the level of safety is phenomenal. The marshals, the medical crew, everybody was there within a flash, and the situation was well under control, and the gentleman in question was taken to the medical centre and all done, dusted. There was another slight incident with a bike rider on the start line, but once again, everybody was on hand, and the situation was dealt with very professionally, as I'm sure that the rider and the driver in question will testify to. But this bike and this car will be back, I'm absolutely sure, better than ever. But it's not nice to see at the time, but good to know that everything was in hand to make sure that nothing serious happened. So with that being said, we were following, as we follow on from the interviews that are on this podcast, Alex Pryor and Ben Jeffrey were both competing in Sportsman ET. Did very, very well. Ben Jeffrey exceptionally well. Got well into the, I think he got all the way to the semis, if I'm just going to look through my paperwork, which I have sitting in front of me. Yes. All the way to the semi-final on probably his only second competitive event. Lost out to Clive Dandridge in the truck. But all these things are feathers in his cap. 100%. You know, he's going to be knowing next time what not to do, what he needs to do, and he's going to have a better idea of how to be a championship winning car and a championship winning driver. Yeah. What can we say about that? Much, much better. Great fun to watch. The Perfect Light Award did go. Unfortunately, the perfect estimated time, the perfect ET did not. So we'll be holding on to that one for the next time. So the perfect light went to Carl Thomas in ET Bike, if I remember rightly, with a 0.0008. Phenomenal. You know, it's always the way. It catches you unawares, and Festival Power, it caught us unawares, and funnily enough, in this one, it caught us unawares because we just got so close to semi-finals, and we're gearing up towards the finals that it slipped us by. But thank the Lord that he came up and spoke to us and said, "Here we are. You know, this is my timing slip. Am I right?" And you know what? He was 100% right, and I apologise for missing it. But yeah, he got his graphic sticker and he got his financial reward. So well done to him. Let's go through a few final results for the actual event. These are on my live report. They will be in a news report as well on the website. So Pro ET, let's start there. Pro ET was won by Freddie Thompson. Defeated Stuart Thompson, but no relation. Junior Dragster was taken by Neve Devi. Super Pro ET was Charlie Seward. VW Pro, Carl Goldsmith. Awesome win. Well done, sir. VW Sportsman was George Miller. Sportsman ET was Peter Walters. Comp Eliminator went to Nick Williams. Super Gas, Dave Fulton. Super Comp, Leah Kellett. Nostalgia Superstock, Stuart Thompson. As you say, double classing. Outlaw Flat 4 went to Adam Lowe. ET Bike, Phil Pratt. 850 Bike, Pete Slater. 950 Bike, Thomas Cook Abbott. Super Street Bike, Daniel Lenks. Funny Bike was Martin Zilstra. Top Fuel Bike, Steve Woolett. Comp Bike, Jasmine Cordell. And Junior Drag Bike, Harry Isaacs. Well done to all the winners. Look forward to seeing you at the next event, which, if by my reckoning, if I flick over my pages, which always is a bit of a problem, looking at my list, this weekend coming, we have a Dragon Drift event at Dakota Raceway. We also have the Saturday night special at Santa Pod. The following day, they have the Fast Show, which is always good to see. Then the week after that is the NSRA Nostalgia Nationals, which is the first nostalgia event of the year for Santa Pod. I will be in attendance. I might be a bit late on the Friday, but I will certainly be there for the Saturday and Sunday. Lots of good things out there. Looking a bit further forward, the 2nd to the 4th of May is Lock and Loaded 2 at Manston Raceway. The 3rd of May, No Guts, No Glory at Crail Raceway in Scotland. I know that is going to be the first round for the European Front-Wheel Drive Championship. I read a post today from Luke looking for some more entries. You know, I will build him up on that. It'll be great to see some more entries. This is being recorded prior to the event, so if you are listening to this post-event, just ignore what I said. So yeah, let's take a trip just to grab a few extra bits of news on the homepage after the Spring Speed Nationals. We have some up and coming things as well. I know with Door Slammers round the corner. I have the first round of the Carl Cox Motorsport Championship, which will be looking good. We have some lovely reports appearing on the website, so drop in, have a look at those. It'll be good to read those people's show reports, how they got on. There's a really good article on the website from Remco Schillings about a next step on the FIA European Championship for Lars. I'm going to really butcher his name. I do beg your pardon. Lars Solholm. Stepped up to Pro Mod last season with the intention of running this season. So lovely little ride up there. You can read the full article via the website. Some bits and pieces through in there. Yeah, really good. Always drop in by the Eurodragster.com pod. I'm really butchering my words today. I apologise. Eurodragster.com site. As the week goes on, there will be some more show reports coming up. And there'll be some more news coming up, as there always is. It's always a good read. One of the things that we did pick up on Spring Speed, I'll just mention, by the way, was one of the lost stroke missed finals from the Festival of Power due to the on-track incident was run at Spring Speed Nationals, which was the Junior Dragster final from Festival of Power between Ella Rose Smallworth and Kai Cooper. Yeah, that was run, and she reached the final at her very first event, and she did. She came as first runner-up. Kai took that win, so he takes the points. They gathered points from the event, but the trophy from winning the final was post, so it was won at Spring Speed National, so he gets the trophy for the championship win there, but the points were already awarded because they have to be awarded on the actual day of the event. So that being said, he was presented with his trophy from Festival of Power at Spring Speed Nationals. Thank you very much. That was a really good event. I really enjoyed that one. Good weather, good company, great racing. Always good to see, always good to be, which is what we all want. Anything up and coming? We've just been through some bits and pieces in the background going on. I'm sure there are plenty of things going on. If people would like to share with us their stories, their show reports, anything like that, you can always drop us an email at news@eurodragster.com. Or if you want to add anything onto the podcast, if you want to come and join us, wants to be a guest on the podcast, which we're always welcome to see, you can email us on podcast@eurodragster.com. Either or, go news, go podcast, always will be picked up by somebody, whether it be Chris, whether it be me. So, as I say, always use the website, keep going, keep reading, keep joining us on the podcast. And I'm going to thank you in advance for downloading this episode, which is episode 9. Yeah, thank you for joining me. Thank you for this slight short ramble at the end of a great interview with Alex Pryor and Ben Jeffrey prior to the Spring Speed Nationals. I've got a gentleman lined up ready to come and join me possibly next week. Always looking for people to come and tell us their stories and follow their journey. It's always great because sometimes we just don't have the time to read things, but the reason I built this podcast is I always wanted people to listen to it and enjoy it. And I know people are, and I know people because they've told me they're enjoying it. And I'm just only glad that my boring, utter, monotone ramblings are being well received. So thank you very much. Continue to support us. Continue to listen to us. Continue to go to the site and have a read. Continue to send us your stories and your news. Always great to hear. That being said, you can find this podcast where you download your podcasts normally from, whether it be Apple, whether it be Spotify, whether it be Podbean, whether it be YouTube, or the player on our site. you can always catch us somewhere to listen to. And with that, thank you very much for joining us. I keep saying us. It's only me at the moment. I promise next time Chris will join us on the podcast at some point. Always good to fire off against Chris, because he can take our banter quite well, and I do like that, and I appreciate it every single time. So, cheerio. Enjoy the podcast. Enjoy the interviews. See you next time.
That was the Euro Dragster podcast. For drag racing news, reports, galleries and classifieds, visit eurodragster.com. Join Graham and Chris next time for more from the world of drag racing.